Solving Equations and Inequalities Part 2. You should have this problem in front of you. Jeremy and Aiden are competing for Jasmine's attention. Jeremy decides that he will send her a bouquet of flowers every week. He starts with $500 in his savings account and spends $15 per week. Aiden decides he will send her chocolates and balloons every week. He starts with $800 and spends $35 per week. You have 4 questions. After how many weeks will they have the same amount of money? How much money will they each have at that time? After how many weeks will Jeremy have more money than Aiden? And then how much money will each have at that time? So I hope that what I want you to do is go ahead and work through this problem by yourself, and then we will check it and go over it together. So the first thing that we're going to do is assign a variable. So we've got an unknown amount, and I'm going to assign that x. And x is going to represent number of weeks, because our questions have to do with how many weeks, and we're not given the number of weeks in our problem. Then we're going to assign some expressions. So I'm going to say J for Jeremy. So Jeremy starts with $500 in his account, and he is spending money. He's not depositing money. He is spending money. If he were depositing is putting money in. Spending or withdrawing money, that's removing money. So he's going to spend $15 per week, so $15 times X number of weeks. And then we have Aiden, and Aiden starts out with $800, and he is spending or withdrawing $35 times X number of weeks. So now that leads me to my first question. After how many weeks will they have the same amount of money? So I'm going to take my 2 expressions, so Jeremy, and I'm going to set it equal to, I'm going to set both of the expressions equal to each other. And then I'm going to solve. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get my variables on one side. So I'm going to add 35x's over here. Oh, you know what? Pause. Before I do that, I'm going to rewrite the equation as addition. So 500 plus negative 15x is 800 plus negative 35x. Now, I'm going to add 35x's to each side. So I have 500 plus 20x has the same value as 800. Next, I will subtract 500 from each side. So I'm left with 20x is equal to 300. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 20, and I am left with x has a value of 15. So the question was, after how many weeks will they have the same amount of money? X is weeks, so after 15 weeks they will have the same amount of money. Now let's find out how much money that will be. So for Jeremy, his expression was 500 minus 15x. So all we're going to do is substitute in, instead of minus 15x, it's going to be minus $15 times $15 per week. And if we work that out, it should equal $275. And then we should be able to see that Aiden is the same amount, but let's just check it just to make sure. So Aiden was 800 minus 35x. So we know that that is $800 minus $35 times 15 weeks, and sure enough, when we work that out, it is also $275. So, how much money will they each have at that time? After 15 weeks, they will each have $275. Now, the next question says, after how many weeks will Jeremy have more money than Aiden? Well, if they have the same amount of money after 15 weeks, then 16 weeks, Jeremy should have more than Aiden. But let's go ahead and set up our inequality. So we had 500 minus 15x, and that was Jeremy. And we want Jeremy to be greater than Aiden. So 800 minus 35x. And then we would go through the same business of solving our inequality. So I would add 35x's and get 500 plus 20x is greater than 800, and then I would subtract 500. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so then we are left with 20x is greater than 300. Then we're going to divide by 20 and divide by 20. So I know that x number of weeks has to be greater than 15. And we knew that before because they were the same at 15. So x, in this case, has to be greater than 15. Now, we're not going to have 15 and a half weeks. We're not going to have 15 3/4 of a week. So after how many weeks, it has to be 16 or more weeks. Okay, so then the next part of it is how much will they have at that time. So in other words, how much will they have after 16 weeks? So Jeremy's expression, again, was 500 minus 15x. So I'm just going to say 500 minus 15 times 16 weeks. And when I work that out, I should get $260. Now, with Aiden, we're going to say 800 minus, instead of 15, he was 35x, and I'm out of room. So I'm going to continue Aiden over here. So instead of 800 minus 35, I'm going to say $800 minus 35 times 16 weeks, and Aiden should end up with $240. So how much money will they each have? Jeremy will have $260, and Aiden will have $240.